I'm Bishop.
And I'm Dr. Steph.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this YouTube station. We call it Our Life, Our Journey.
Our Truth.
And we are so happy to have you connected today. It means a lot for you to be tuned in on today. We appreciate you being a part of this particular platform. And of course, we want to invite you to follow me at Joseph Walker 3, follow my wife at Dr. Steph Walker. And we want to make sure you like, comment,
and subscribe, and share with your friends and family.
Please do that, because that's important. We want to make sure we continue to get this out to as many people as possible, because we know that it can be a tremendous blessing and asset to them. It's our goal to constantly maintain a place of conversation, transparency, and to just share principles and things we've learned along the way that perhaps can be a blessing to you.
And we would love to hear from you. Like, what other topics would you like to have us give you? You know, like, what are some questions that you might have? What are some burning issues that you may be going through or what have you? Like, let us know.
There it is. And that means a lot to us. So we want to make sure you do that. And I appreciate you so very much. And of course, let me tell you, I'm really want you to go to our website, josephwalker3.org. You can get our content books. We have a book called Becoming a Couple of Destiny. You can go out there as well, get our merch, the connection series, and all those great things. Just go check it out right there on josephwalker3.org. Now, today we're going to talk about something that's so important, and I want to really lean into this because it is something that I know many of you, particularly in this season, have had to deal with, as we've had to deal with, and that is a lot of people transitioning around you, a lot of sickness, a lot of unfortunate events that we see happening nationally and in our own personal life. And what that does, it reaffirms of what I believe the scripture says, that life is a vapor, and how quickly it is here and gone. And the Bible says a lot about that. And I don't want to get too preachy about it, but I do want to set up context to recognize that it is important that we live with intentionality. I think that many of us, we put off things, we delay. Well, maybe, in 5 years, or maybe I'll do it then. And then all of a sudden, circumstances change and you're unable to do those things that bring value and bring joy to your life. And so today we really want to help you really take the reins of your own life and live with intentionality, man, in terms of how you engage relationships with other people, letting people know how you feel about them while they're with you, making sure you enjoy doing the things that you're supposed to do. If you're working hard, you should be able to enjoy life. And the older you get, man, it looks like these years get shorter and shorter. So you really have to make certain that you are out here living your best life. Here's the scripture, and we'll just launch from this. Jesus says it, John 10:10, "The thief cometh to steal, kill, and destroy. But I came that you may have life and have it more abundantly."
Yeah,
I think abundant life look like?
I think for us, one of the reasons why we chose this topic is because every single day it seems that someone is passing away, and they're not just gracefully older, right? The seasoned saints that you have this expectation that when you get older, when you're in your late 80s, 90s, 100 years old, that you have that expectation. These are young people who are our age, who are just here today and gone tomorrow. So it really forces you to think about your own mortality, right? Like your own sense of, am I doing what I want to be doing with my life, right? And the reality is sometimes you are and sometimes you're not. And these seasons force you to start making really intentional decisions. And that's when he's saying, like, live with intentionality. Like, for example, one of the things that we were just kind of talking about the other day was just like, life is a constant grind. It's important to pick and choose what you're willing to grind for.
Wow.
Right? Where are you spending your time? Who are you spending your time with? What are you spending your time on? Are you busy building somebody else's dream, or are you going forward and building your own dream? Are you busy taking care of somebody else's life and lifestyle, or are you taking care of your family at home, making sure that they're living their best life? Are you, not taking any of your PTO and grinding and doing all that while someone else is on vacation on a yacht? Or are you saying, you know what? maybe I'll take $100 less or a couple $1,000s less this year, but I'm going to go with my family and take them around the world, or I'm going to go visit so-and-so, or I'm going to go do this or go do that, because tomorrow is not promised. I feel like we're constantly, or we have a history of working so hard to build a life that we're too busy to enjoy the life that we're working hard to build.
Wow.
And I think even like the pandemic showed us that that is backwards. And today, more so than ever, as these reports of these people leaving this world too early, in my opinion, it's really forcing us to just sit back and say, okay, well, what is really important to us? And how are we going to proceed with how we not just value life, but are intentional about spending the time that we have here on earth?
Yeah, that's so true. You know, Arthur Brooks and Oprah have that book, Build a Life You Want. And I think it's important that you take control of the decisions and the things that you want to do, and not let life live you, but you live life. And I think that's so important, right? And I think that it causes you to really prioritize and adjust your schedule and carve out that time. Sometimes we say, well, I don't have the time. If I only had time to go to the spa. Well, yeah, you do. It's just about the decisions you choose to make to do it. At moments, we made a very conscientious decision. I'll tell you what it was. We decided that on Mondays, we were not going to do anything but hang out with each other. Just going to make sure my team understood it. It was going to be this. People were still calling. People didn't get the memo, but I just didn't. I can't do it. Something occurred. We had to do it. I can't do it Monday. Can I do it Monday morning? Can't do it.
We created a non-negotiable, basically. Like when things are just if this, then that, or yes or no, but, maybe. Like, then, of course, your free time or the time that you're creating or putting aside for things that are important to you will evaporate into thin air. But when you write something down and make a commitment to yourself, it's not about anyone else. It's about yourself. Like, what are you doing for yourself? When you're making that commitment to yourself, when you're putting it down on paper, making it plain, writing it in your calendar, marking that time off like it's a meeting, you make time for all these meetings for other people and all these other things. And those things are probably driving you to your grave because they're stressful, they're hard, all this stuff, right? But I'm not saying that they're not necessary, but they're necessary in their own right. What are you doing that's necessary for your own health, for your own mental capacity, for your own longevity, right? And so for us, we just decided, he would take Mondays and we would commit to that for our relationship and our health, right? And somebody might be saying, well, I can't take a Monday off. Well, I think for us it's a little bit backwards because, most people have weekends. We don't have weekends. The weekends are our work days, right? So it's the hardest period of in terms of like the Super Bowls, right? In terms of the work weekends. And so the weekend for us is a Monday or a Friday, and so he chose Mondays, and so that's what we're going to be doing moving forward.
And you find that day. You find that day, that time that you can break away, because if you don't come apart, you will come apart. And I think that's incredibly important to understand, right? Because I think a lot of people, live with regret. I should have done this. I should have done that. We earlier this year decided we were going to go to Greece, and it just, hey, let's just make it happen. Figured it out, took a week, went to Greece, had the best time of our lives. You have to go and give yourself these experiences, because at the end of the day, it's the experiences. It's seeing the world. It's doing things with your family, your kids. Your kids are
memories.
Growing up, and you're missing these moments because you're just out here. And when you're on your, when you're on your deathbed,
nobody is saying, I want to do, I wish I would have worked more. I wish I would have done more projects, more books. You're talking about the things that you didn't get an opportunity to do, or the people that you didn't get an opportunity to spend time with, or what have you. And so I would urge you, and I hate to put it like this, but what if you were going to die next week, next year? What if someone walked in the room and told you you had 6 months to live or 12 months to live? What would you do? Why do you have to wait for a crisis
to live
in order to live your life? Like, put it down. If you got to save your money to do it, then create a plan and save your money and make that thing happen. Like, whatever those things are that you really want to do in life, figure out a way to do it.
You have to be unapologetic with this. You have to get to a point where you recognize you don't owe people an explanation as to why the things you want to do. I chose, there's some things that they give me life. And we had a conversation about it. I said, what things that feed you? What things give you life? I enjoy, like, for example, going to HBCU football games, more particularly Southern University. I haven't been, my travel schedule, I work on Sunday, so Saturday is always hard. How can I get back? And I just decided this year I was going to go. I'm going, I went to a football game. Man, going to the Bayou Classic. It feeds me because I don't get a chance to do that. I'm normal in those spaces. And you have to decide, what is it that you enjoy doing? Because you'll sit back and you'll look up and 3 years later, you'll be saying, man, I've always wanted to go do this. I never did it. I wanted to go to a baseball game in New York, or I wanted to go, and wanted to go to Paris, and I didn't do it. You can do it. It's just about, you've got to live. Give yourself permission to live, because you don't get these moments back.
Yeah, and also it's not just about taking trips or vacations, right? It's really about making conscientious decisions about who and what you're going to spend your time on, right? Sometimes it's a vacation, sometimes it's a spa, sometimes it's you just taking a walk, right? But sometimes, depending on where you are in your life, it can be about, work or career transitions, right? Like, perhaps there is a job or a career that's pulling you and tugging you and traveling you around the world and taking you away from your family. Like, we've had to face those career decisions. And for me, and I'm not saying this is for you, but for me, in the seasons that I've recently transitioned through, I made the conscientious decision, because I was grinding. I was up all, 36, 40 hours at a time. Like, if I'm going to grind and if I'm going to be tired and I'm going to be exhausted, I'm going to be exhausted and tired for my family. I'm going to be exhausted and tired for those people that mean the most to me, because, again, tomorrow's not promised.
Yeah.
And so if I'm going to put 200% out, I'm going to put 200% out on those things that are important to me. My own personal business, my own personal brand, my own family, my children who are growing and need a mom present, my husband, my marriage, my health, right? So those were conscientious decisions that I made. Were there necessary sacrifices that had to be made as a result of that decision? Yes. But was it worth it? Abso-freaking-lutely. Absolutely, 10,000%. So you have to be able to make those choices. And again, everything is not for everybody. There's a reason and a season for everything. And perhaps you're in a season of grind. We've been there, right? You do what you have to do when you have to do it, so you can do what you want to do when you want to do it. Grind. Get through that season. Get through it, right? So then you can make that conscientious decision to be able to do what you want to do with your own time, your own life, in your own way.
Man, that is so true, right? And I think, if you think about it, man, like, and that's so, you gotta have, I think I keep going back to this word intentionality. You have to look at, how can I be intentional about making certain that I am doing what I have to do, but I'm also rewarding myself to make sure that I'm benefiting from the things that I'm doing. Because you mess around here, man, and you do all this work, you grind, and then you leave here, and then the people that didn't even do the work gonna benefit from it, because, that's how life works, And
then they'll replace you in a heartbeat.
In
Whatever
a
cubicle,
heartbeat.
desk, office you were in, somebody will be sitting in that same office, desk, cubicle next week, and they won't skip a beat, and you'll be gone, right? And so you have to, and this is not to be like a depressing conversation.
for sure.
It's to be a wake-up call, right? Like, tomorrow's not promised. What do you have in your heart and your spirit to do?
That's good.
Figure out a way to do it. Figure out a way to give back to yourself. Figure out a way to reward yourself for all the hard work. Frequently, especially all y'all grinders out there, we grind till we see the bones in our hands, right? We're bleeding, we're this, we're that.
Grind to the white meat.
Yeah, grind to the white meat. And the reality is, like, yes, it's okay, again, for seasons, but sometimes we do it and then we don't even celebrate our accomplishments. We don't give ourselves a break, because, he says, we're goats. Not goats as in greatest of all time, but goats is when you see a mountain, you want to climb it. And so you get to the pinnacle, you've just climbed this mountain, you take a break, you're saying, oh my gosh, I did it. And then you're like, on to the next mountain.
Yeah.
Like, when do you take a moment to enjoy it, to celebrate, to look out on the horizon, to take care of yourself, to go and say thank you to the people who supported you to help you get there. And then after you've done that, after you've taken care of yourself and taken a moment, then going ahead and climbing that next mountain. But I just urge you to take a moment, take some time. Don't wait. Because frequently some people are like, well, I'll just do it when I retire. How many people do you know who retired and then met catastrophic results shortly thereafter? Numerous. And it's so tremendously sad. Live your life. Live your life today.
You know, one of the things that I have to address is Greg McEwen talks about protect the asset, about you protecting you and taking care of you. And I think one of the things about
Meaning
enjoying
that the asset is you.
Yeah. You have to take care of yourself. It's incredibly important. Atia has this book called Outlive. I encourage you to read it. It's about 400 pages, but it'll change your life. He talks about the real goal here is not lifespan. It's health span. The idea that as you age, everybody wants to be 70, 80, 90, but you've got to be 70, 80, 90, and you're living a quality of life where you can enjoy the fruits of your labor versus all your money is going toward medication and people taking care of you. So it's about the decisions you're making now to live, to get out and do things. That helps with your mental health. That helps with stress. That helps you living life and enjoying things. People that have great social circles and who go out and do things, they live longer. They have healthier lifestyles than people that are sedentary, just sit at home and just, you got to get out and do things.
Well, and even like changing like your mindset when it comes to working out, right? Like some people are like, I want to work out for my beach body. I want to work out for my big gadunk-gadunk. I want to work out for this, that, and the third. I know, right? But it's really about working out for longevity. I want to work out so when my kids have grandkids, I can chase them around the yard. I want to work out so when I'm 65, 70, 80 years old, I can walk up and down the steps. I want to work out today so that my muscles and my bones don't decompensate on me later on in life. And so, yes, you can have all those sort of body image goals or what have you, but if you don't reach them and you can't do it, sometimes people quit, right? And so it's not always about having that perfect body. It's about what are you doing to your body today that will give you longevity later on in life.
I want you to consider something before we wrap this up. I want you to hear something. You say, I hear you, Dr. Walker. I hear you, Bishop. I hear all these things you're talking about doing. But if you only knew my life, you knew my schedule, you knew all the things I was doing, how in the world can somebody like me, juggling all I juggle, carrying all I carry, find that time? I feel like I don't get a chance to do anything for myself. And I know it can be incredibly emotional. Because you're trying, in your heart, you want to live, but you just can't find that time because you're taking care of everybody else. I want you to hear this scripture. And he will make you lie down in green pastures.
Jesus.
Either you will voluntarily go lay down somewhere, or the Lord will involuntarily make you lie down. If you don't think you have time, you end up falling over, unfortunately, with a stroke or something. You end up in the hospital. Now what? You're there.
Or you suffer from burnout. You gotta sit down anyway.
Now you're there. So you might as well do it while you're in health and let the people around you adjust to that new reality while you have time. Tick, tock, tick, tock. From the very moment you logged onto this YouTube platform to the very moment I'm talking now, almost 20 minutes had passed. And when you think about time like that, every second, every minute, every hour,
it all counts.
Every day, every week, every month, every year should be filled with purpose and life. Live. Man, I believe this with all of my heart. We talk about it all the time. We should live full and we should die empty. Should die saying, I did all the things I want to do. I fulfilled all the purposes that God placed in my life. I lived life to the fullest and I was a full person of joy. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the challenge. That's the charge we give to you today. So
And it's not perfection. It's not always easy. We understand that. But it's about being intentional. It's about making that decision that you are going to prioritize yourself in your own life and your ability to live now, today, right? And, you know, write it down. Make a plan. God is a God of order. You just don't walk out on your job. We're not telling you to do that, right? But just figure it out. You're smart. You're gifted. You're savvy.
You got it.
Figure it out. You got this.
You got this. So hope this has blessed you. Make sure you follow me at Joseph Walker 3. Follow Dr. Steph. Stay connected to us. We're going to read those comments. So comment now. Let us know if this has blessed you. Hit us up on Instagram. Let us know, hey, this has blessed you. Share with somebody. And thank you so much. Now go live. Sitting around here. Go live. Do something fun. Enjoy your life. And I'm telling you, because you only get one. I'm Bishop.
And I'm Dr. Steph.
Peace out.